Dear listeners, welcome back to another brand new story, so let's dive in. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but life has a way of throwing the worst surprises at you. My wife is an incredibly attractive woman, and I was always proud to have her by my side. We had a good marriage, or so I thought, but everything changed when she started working at a new office. At first, things seemed normal, but soon I started noticing small red flags. She dressed up more, stayed late, and was always glued to her phone. Whenever I asked, she dismissed it, saying it was just work meetings and team bonding. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. Then fate stepped in. My younger brother happened to get a job at the same company. I didn't think much of it, until one day he came to me looking pale and disturbed. He told me he had seen something I could never have imagined. My wife and one of her coworkers were in the office bathroom, having sex. He didn't hear rumors. He didn't suspect. He saw them with his own eyes. He was in complete shock and didn't know whether to tell me, but in the end he did. That moment shattered me. All those meetings and extra work hours suddenly made sense. The woman I had given my heart to was betraying me behind my back. I didn't waste time. That night, I waited for her to come home, my heart pounding, rage bubbling beneath the surface. When she walked through the door, acting as if nothing had happened, I felt sick. How was work? I asked, my voice calm, too calm. She sighed, setting her bag down. Exhausting. Long meetings, you know how it is. I clenched my fist. How it is. I knew exactly how it was. So, tell me, I said, stepping closer. Did your meeting take place in the office bathroom? Her face froze. A flicker of confusion crossed her features, then panic. She knew. What are you talking about? She stammered, her voice suddenly small. I threw my phone onto the table. My brother works in your office now. And guess what? He saw you. With him. In the bathroom. She turned ghostly pale. Her lips parted, but no words came out. Oh, that's a lie, she finally whispered, shaking her head violently. He's lying to you? I slammed my fist onto the table, making her jump. Don't. You dare lie to me? My voice was ice cold. He saw everything. With his eyes. She crumbled. Her knees buckled and she sank onto the couch, burying her face in her hands. I didn't mean for it to happen, she sobbed. It was a mistake, I swear. A mistake? I laughed bitterly, stepping back. You don't mistakenly spread your legs in a bathroom stall. That takes intent. Tears streamed down her face. Please, I love you. I swear I do. It was just a stupid moment of weakness. I scoffed. A moment? How many moments were there, huh? All those nights you worked late? All those team bonding meetings? She sobbed harder, reaching for my hand. I yanked it away like her touch burned me. Please, she begged. Don't do this. We can fix this. I'll quit my job. I'll cut him off. Just, don't leave me. I stared at her, disgust boiling in my gut. The woman I once loved now looked pathetic, desperate. You didn't think about fixing this when you were screwing him in that stall? I said, voice low and dangerous. You threw our marriage away the moment you let him touch you. Her face twisted with desperation. I'll do anything, please. I exhaled slowly. Then, with absolute finality, I said, good. Start by packing your things. Because we're done. She wailed, but I didn't care. I walked away, leaving her to drown in the mess she created. Because now, I was the one in control. Part 2. Update: after my wife cheated, I got with her sister, right in front of her. Betrayal doesn't just break you, it rebuilds you into something unrecognizable. After the divorce, I wasn't the same man. Nights stretched on like an eternity, filled with memories of the woman I had loved. The same woman who had spat on our vows in a filthy bathroom stall. I thought I'd never trust again. But then, someone unexpected stepped into my life. Her sister. Yeah, you read that right. My ex-wife's younger sister. Let's call her Emily. Emily had always been different from my ex. Where my ex was selfish and vain, Emily was warm, grounded, and fiercely loyal. She reached out to me not long after the divorce, her voice shaking with anger. I can't believe she did this to you, she had said. I lost all respect for her. You deserved better. At first, we were just two people venting, bonding over our mutual disgust for the same woman. But something else started brewing beneath the surface. Unspoken words. Stolen glances. A connection neither of us dared acknowledge. Until one night, everything changed. The breaking point. Emily came over to check on me. She brought takeout, a bottle of whiskey, and that same knowing smirk that told me she saw right through my pain. You look like hell, she teased, settling onto my couch. Thanks, I muttered, downing a shot. We talked. We laughed. We let the bitterness flow between us like an old wound bleeding fresh. And then, the silence stretched just a little too long. I looked at her. She looked at me. A flicker of hesitation. Then, the dam broke. Our lips crashed together, hard, desperate, hungry. Years of pent-up emotions, betrayal, and repressed desire exploded in that moment. Clothes hit the floor. Hands roamed. And when it was over, we lay tangled in my sheets, breathless, knowing that we had just crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. But neither of us regretted it. For the first time since my world crumbled, I felt alive. The ultimate payback. A few weeks later, word got back to my ex. And that's when the fun began. The first call came at midnight. I let it go to voicemail. The second came at 3 a.m., this time with an unhinged text message. "You're disgusting. You ruined everything." The irony almost made me laugh. Then, she showed up at my doorstep. She pounded on my door like a lunatic, screaming my name. Her mascara was streaked, her eyes bloodshot. She looked like a woman unhinged. I let her scream. When I finally opened the door, I stood there, calm, arms crossed, watching her unravel. "How could you?" she sobbed. "You're with my sister? That's sick." "That's..." "No, what's sick is screwing some random guy in a public bathroom while your husband stayed up late thinking you were working." Her face turned ghostly pale. "That was a mistake," she whispered, as if that excuse could erase everything. I chuckled, stepping closer, lowering my voice just enough to make her squirm. "And this? This is just justice." She opened her mouth, but I didn't wait for another excuse. I shut the door in her face. The final nail in the coffin. Then came the family gathering. Emily and I walked in together, hand in hand, looking like the power couple my ex could never be a part of again. And my ex. She was there, watching, seething, drowning in her own humiliation. I felt her eyes boring into me, but I refused to acknowledge her. Instead, I turned to Emily, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, letting my fingers linger just enough to make my ex squirm. She clenched her jaw, trying to hold it together. But when Emily whispered something in my ear, something only I could hear, and I let out a low chuckle. That was it. My ex snapped. She shot up from her seat, stormed toward us, her hands trembling. Her face was twisted with raw, ugly jealousy. "I hope you're happy," she spat. "I hope she betrays you just like I did." I tilted my head, giving her a long, slow once-over. "Oh, I am happy," I said. "Because unlike you, Emily actually knows what loyalty means." That did it. She let out a choked sob and bolted out of the house. The perfect ending. That night, Emily and I went back to my place. Every touch, every whisper, every kiss, it was all a reminder that I had won. Somewhere out there, my ex was probably crying herself to sleep, knowing that she had destroyed her own life, not mine. And as I lay there, holding the woman who had stood by me when no one else did, I realized I didn't just move on. I leveled up. I don't regret a damn thing. She ruined our marriage, so I ruined her peace of mind, forever. And let me tell you, Emily was worth it. Dear listeners, if you like this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.